Have you recovered from last year's?
Well, the onslaught of all of this. Yeah, I have. I'm beginning to get a sense of who I am again. I'm calming down.
I'm assuming that the whole thing with the Oscars and all the nominations you got left and right here and in Europe was really overwhelming, considering that it was your first feature.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was quite something. And there was a while where I just used to wake up in the morning and think, who am I? What day of the week is it? What's going on? You know, but you have to turn around to yourself and say, come on, it's not so bad. It's fantastic, in fact, you know. It was brilliant. I loved it.
I'd like to know, Maggie in The Boxer is a woman in which the past has such an intense weight.
Yeah, yes.
Was it hard to play someone whose past and environment has such an importance in her life?
It's actually a really interesting way to work, because the film is so much about recollection and remembering how things were and how they could have been, and you know, and particularly working with Daniel, because he's so in the moment and so there and so in the character, and so there's a lot of silence in the film, but because it's all about we're remembering what happened, the silences are very full. You know, there's this really heady sense of just hanging in the air of what we had, what could have been, what might be, and what choices are we going to make, and where are the compromises going to be. It's, you know, it's very complex, which was great for me, because before I played something very, very simple, very just out there, and suddenly there was this, you know, myriad of complexities and confusions and divided loyalties and, you know, politicized beliefs, and you know, it was great.
In a way, the liberators are the oppressors at the same time. Yeah, not only the British invaders, but the IRA is part of
oppressing their own people, definitely.
Do you think is the film like a tribute to women in a way?
Well, I've not heard that before. That's lovely. Yeah, I think so, because a woman whose husband is in prison is in a situation that she hasn't chosen to be in herself. You know, she didn't tell him to go out and shoot somebody, you know. And suddenly she's condemned to this life of bringing a child up by herself and all of that.
In a way, Maggie's a prisoner herself.
She is,
Can you tell us why?
Well, the relationship with her husband was really almost over when he was arrested and went to prison. But as soon as he becomes a political prisoner, she becomes the model prisoner's wife. She has to be fiercely seen to be loyal to him and to uphold the community, support all the other prisoners' wives, you know, and because her father is in the IRA, she has to really play that part to the hilt. And in fact, there's no relationship there. And the man she loves is someone else entirely. And, you know, she has to choose what, you know, does she protect her son? She has to protect her son, or does she follow her heart? It's very hard for her. And she has to make terrible sacrifices all the time. It's a very grey existence.
I'd like to ask you, in a way, well, I read that Jim Sheridan is very unique because he likes when actors fight for their own view on the character. Like if you have your own particular view of who Maggie is, he will let you develop it. Is that right? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, working with him is very exciting because everything's changing all the time. He's saying, oh, let's do this, you know, and the script that you learnt when you came in for the morning is, yeah, and he lets you contribute a lot, you know, and there are bits in the film that we kind of talked through and worked on together, and little bits that, you know, Daniel would have written on, little bits that I wrote, and, you know, and he worked with Terry as well. He's very, very inventive, yeah, but he kind of sees you in a way that you don't know yourself somehow. He saw, I think, a strength in me that maybe I didn't know was there, and that's very interesting to work with somebody. That's quite strange.
So he saw stuff in you so you feel that he discovers stuff that you didn't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's the mark of a really great director. You know, if you work with someone like that, you look at the screen and you thought, God, I didn't know that about myself, and he saw it.
I would like to know at what level did you identify with Maggie, and if you necessarily have to identify with whoever you become for the big screen.
I suppose that sense of tenacity and kind of fierce, kind of lioness-like protection of those you love. I think that, you know, that's a really great quality.
I would like to know if you think that is war a male thing?
Yes, it is a male thing, and so is boxing. But women have to be involved. You know, that it's not like they disappear when there's a war. They are necessarily part of the community, and they suffer, you know, obviously. And also they have to sit and watch the boxing.
Was that a painful experience?
It's fascinating, actually, boxing. It really is. It's very primal, kind of sensual thing, watching somebody box. You know, it's really so male. But it's also horrible watching someone get hit.
Did you have to do something special to develop Maggie? I understand you went to Northern Ireland and you met with some
prisoners' wives. Yeah, no, I did, and yeah, I did quite a lot of research, and also really worked on the accent. That's kind of the key to it, because the sound of the place is in the accent somehow. It's that.
I would like to know if it's stressful or weird or different, playing a role in which, in a way, you're representing a community.
Yeah, I did feel a bit paranoid about being a nice English girl going into all of that, but the welcome was so fantastic. You know, it's such a warm place, Ireland. I was fine.